Good evening. In the year 1861, Indian Penal Code was introduced in India by the British. And in this Indian Penal Code, Section 377, starting from day number 1, it's a controversy. For a quite long period of time, certain sections in our country, like LGBT community, so they are fighting against Section 377 because Section 377 of IPC criminalizes the sex between the consenting adults, which is against the order of the nature. That is the reason why, if anybody involves in such type of activities, so they are criminalized. And that provision is very much mentioned under 377, and so many punishments were made. But maybe it is psychological or something. This particular concept is continuing. Then what about the security of those people? That's the reason why certain sections in the community in the country that supports the LGBT community. LGBT stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. So the certain sections of the society who are supporting this, as it should be considered as a freedom, they went to the court and they challenged this in the court. In the year 2009, Delhi High Court has decriminalized these activities and it has scrapped Section 377. Meaning, Delhi High Court mentioned very, very clearly that such type of action, which is against the order of the nature, should not be considered as a criminal activity, and from now onwards, it is decriminalized. So there was a celebration for the people who belong to LGBT community during that time. But this case has been taken to the Supreme Court, and in the year 2013, Supreme Court has again criminalized this particular activity, meaning it restored Section 377 of Indian Penal Code. Of course, after that, there was a review petition in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court rejected that review petition also. Later, what happened in the year 2015, there is a person by name Shashi Tharoor from Kerala, who is a member in Lok Sabha and who belongs to Congress party, introduced a private member bill in the Lok Sabha to decriminalize this activity. And that particular bill was rejected by the Lok Sabha during that time. So there was a disappointment as far as LGBT community is concerned, because certain things are going against them. And obviously there was a fear, and that section, that community was really under threat. But in the year 2017, in a landmark judgment, the Supreme Court said very clearly that right to privacy is a fundamental right. So this was the case that was related to Aadhaar, and Supreme Court made it very, very clear that right to privacy is a fundamental right. When right to privacy is a fundamental right, obviously the activities of these consenting adults, which is happening in privacy, in private, should be considered as a fundamental right. So meaning, so there is a new dimension, there is a new look, there is new outlook with respect to this section, and again it has been challenged in the Supreme Court. During the time, Supreme Court agreed to listen to this one, and it has been referred to the Constitution bench, and today the Constitution bench has given the verdict saying that this is decriminalized, and the Supreme Court has scrapped Section 377 of IPC, meaning Section 377 is no more valid. Meaning is simple: the community that is taking part, the consenting adults that are taking part in certain activities with respect to in private, that should not be considered as a criminal activity, and that should be considered as the right to privacy, because right to privacy is a fundamental right. That fundamental right of that section of the society must be protected, and there are celebrations with respect to this LGBT community people. And of course, in India, we have our own sentiments, whatever may be the religion. So we have our own cultures. That's the reason why certain sections in India, they opposed the concept of this LGBT and their consenting adults taking part in sexual activities in private. So all those are against our culture. These are the statements that are given by certain sections. But a majority of the people in the country have welcomed the judgment that is given by the Supreme Court. Had the Supreme Court did not come out with right to privacy as a fundamental right in the year 2017, even today also that would have been seen as a criminal activity. But now it is no more a crime and it has been decriminalized. Now I would like to show you the document. Kindly have a look at this. Look at this. Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code is a section of the Indian Penal Code introduced in 1861 during the British rule of India. It was modeled on Buggery Act of 1533 and it criminalizes sexual activities against the order of nature. If it is in tune with the nature or in tune with the order of the nature, no problem. If it is against the order of the nature, it should be the sexual activities are considered to be criminal activities. In the year 2009, the Delhi High Court has decriminalized sex between consenting adults of the same genders. Very, very important. This was the judgment that was given by the Delhi High Court in the year 2009, and it has been decriminalized. What was decriminalized? The sex between consenting adults of the same gender. And it was overturned by the Supreme Court in the year 2013. But in the year 2017, the apex court said that the right to privacy is a fundamental right. And this has opened for the fresh discussion on decriminalizing the gay sex. And today's judgment, it supported the personal liberty, and this is a major victory for LGBTQ community. Please remember this. So meaning is simple. Now section 377 of IPC is no more valid. So my dear friends, even with respect to section 377 of IPC, we discussed, I think, more than 4 to 5 times in our earlier classes. That's the reason why I'm again not going into the basics of the subject. And today, so this is what exactly happened. Fine. And that's all for the day. Thank you so much for being with me this evening. Take very good care. Good luck and good night.